All right, guys. It's a sad night for the Utah Jazz. It's a nice night if you're a Laker fan. Well, there was the Anthony Davis injury, which good news is that it wasn't like the X-rays came up negative, so Anthony Davis is okay. So everyone, at least he avoided a serious injury. But the Lakers are going to be without Anthony Davis for at least a while. I guess if there's a silver lining, if you're a Lakers fan, it happened right before the All-Star break, so at least he'll have the All-Star break to kind of recover a little bit. But what a nice win for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Utah Jazz, the frauds that they are. I'm going full Lakers colors tonight because this is a show to talk about the Lakers because the Utah Jazz did not want to show up tonight apparently. They just decided to waste a perfectly beautiful Donovan Mitchell night and it was really bad. All right, let's talk about the Lakers first, then we'll talk about the Jazz. Oh, let's bring up the. Do we want to bring it up? Ah, man, it's just pain tonight for Jazz fans. For Lakers fans, congrats. Your team shows up when things get tough. Oh, so much pain. I'm still sick, guys. I got a little bit of a headache. My chest is feeling a little better. The cough is not so bad. It wasn't COVID. I tested negative, but it's been like a really rough cold. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm ready to be healthy again and start working out again. My gosh, I feel like garbage, especially after this Jazz loss. All right. All right. He's still the king. Everyone bow down to the king. He's still the king. He's really good. And he's on the Los Angeles Lakers. And I hope Lakers fans appreciate what they have in a guy in LeBron James who just absolutely destroyed Utah. Just absolutely destroyed Utah. And every single player on the Jazz at the end of that game had fear in their eyes and in their hearts for LeBron. Oh, it hurts my soul. 39 minutes from LeBron. He wanted the win more than the Utah Jazz did, 100%, and he just willed the Lakers to a win. They had lost Anthony Davis. I can't remember. I believe it was the first half. I can't remember if it was the second or third quarter. They lose Anthony Davis to what looked like a pretty serious ankle turn, but at least, like we said, at least it wasn't broken, which is great. You don't want to ever see someone have a serious injury. So, anyways, they lose Anthony Davis, who, by the way, was having a monster night, 7 for 9 from the field, 17 points. He was playing well, and he's been playing really well recently, actually. Like, Davis has not really been a problem recently at all. They've had other things that's well talked about, but Davis was not the problem. And then they lose him. And the fact that Utah could not take advantage of this Lakers team is one, an indictment on this Jazz team, and two, just you got to remember that LeBron James is LeBron James. Like he is Space Jam. He is, everyone's going to debate whether he's the GOAT or not, but he's in that conversation 100%. And I don't care either way. Honestly, I don't really care. But he's incredible, and Utah just. They broke down like me deciding to see if I want to keep my diet on Thanksgiving. We'll just say it went about how it goes on Thanksgiving. We'll just say that, okay? It went really bad. Russell Westbrook was, you know what? He wasn't actually that bad. These are pretty decent numbers, actually. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, 17 points. Rudy Gobert, for whatever reason, was playing him up on that one of those late possessions. Rudy Gobert was so bad tonight, guys. He was so bad. The best chance you have is to have Russell Westbrook shoot the ball. And so the one time Rudy Gobert decides to go out and really contest a shot, it allows Russell Westbrook to pass out. Force him to shoot the shot. You know what I mean? My gosh, it was a bad night from Rudy tonight. It was really bad. The guy that the Lakers were trying to trade to everybody, 1 for 6, 0 for 4, Talon Horton-Tucker. You can see why no one wanted him. The fact that this Lakers crew won this game is just this guy right here, LeBron James. And this will be my final thought on the Lakers and then we'll talk about the Jazz. But when you're looking at players and you want to figure like how if this player helps you win games, it's just how much they impose their will on the game and how much they impact the game. You know what I mean? There was just so little impact on this game. Physical impact, talent impact, all the different things that help you win, whether it's defense, getting up in someone's jersey, causing a stop, causing a turnover, forcing a late shot clock shot, things like that. Or on offense where you just beat your man and get to the rim and force the defense to bend, and then being able to make the right pass or make the shot and stuff like that. It's just all LeBron James just does all of it. LeBron James, he just does all of it. He just does. He impacts the game in every which way. In every which way. Defensively, offensively, he is just... I mean, you know what's crazy about LeBron is he's the same size and weight as Karl Malone. Did you guys know that? Same size and weight. And he does what he does. It's just like... He is just... You just gotta just... I'm left speechless by LeBron. It doesn't happen very often. But he's great. And maybe he is the GOAT, DWCB. Maybe he is. He is just phenomenal. All right, let's talk about the Jazz. Who wants to get sad? Who's ready to get sad? Let's get sad. I'm ready to get sad. Who's ready to get sad? You know what's really sad? 5 points from Rudy Gobert, minus 27. Minus 27. He got the jersey number. All he had to do was a piece of tape on the side of his jersey, and it would have been his plus minus. Oh, who's sad? I'm sad. Are you guys sad? I'm sad. The Jazz come into this game on a 6-game winning streak. The Lakers come into this game on a 3-game losing streak. Donovan Mitchell had an absolutely monstrous night, and these numbers actually went down after a few missed shots at the end of the game where Donovan was trying to raise a sinking ship. But and someone mentioned to me on Twitter, if Donovan this or that. No, if your takeaway from this game was something not pro Donovan, no, that is not it. That is not it. If the Jazz could have literally gotten anything from anyone tonight, anyone, it would have been great. Royce O'Neal actually decent shooting night, which is really disappointing. The fact that Royce has 2 late game turnovers. Why? Because he had fear in his heart. He had fear in his heart. Royce goes 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. Royce is shooting lights out this year from 3. Late game, passes up the ball twice and causes 2 crushing turnovers. Crushing turnovers. Multiple times he doesn't shoot the ball when he's open too at the end of the game. That is just not acceptable. That is just not acceptable, and it should not be acceptable for the coach, and it should not be acceptable for the player. And it's honestly disappointing because we saw Royce turn it around earlier this year. Right? We saw Royce shooting the ball with confidence this year, and it made me happy because guess what? He was doing this in the playoffs. This unsure, fear, pass the ball, I don't want to make a play stuff. and we saw it again tonight, and so it's really disappointing. People falling back to bad habits and fear mindset, and it sucks. I love Royce. Bojan Bogdanovic actually wasn't too bad tonight, and honestly, these -2, -5 in a Jazz loss is a pretty good sign that they weren't really the reason. But Bojan, 5 for 14 from the field has got to be better. And if I could stop having Bojan Bogdanovic argue with referees, that would be great. You know what it would? That would be nice. In general, can we just have the Jazz players stop arguing and complaining to referees in general? I personally think that you should only be allowed to argue or complain with a referee if you're actually impacting the game. You know what I mean? If you're shooting 5 for 14 from the field, you're not allowed to talk to a referee. And I'm sure sometimes they get fouled and they don't call it, but guess what? It happens to everybody. And I'm getting sick and tired of players complaining to referees because you know what complaining to referees does? Nothing. It does nothing. Go back and play defense. Go back and play in transition. Right? I have a headache. I'm hurting, guys. But we're going to power through this. We're flu gaming this again. So that's what was bad about Royce O'Neal. That's what's bad about Bojan Bogdanovic. Rudy Gobert had a putrid night. 2 for 3 from the field. He was minus 27. The Jazz lost this game by 5 points. Rudy Gobert was a minus 27. It was bad. Trying to be careful with what words I say right now. But we made a commitment. We made a commitment to being honest. All right. Rudy's got to be less soft. And he said in his post-game comments that he's not feeling 100%, and I'm sure that's part of it. But you know what? You know what I'm getting a little tired of? I'm getting a little tired of constantly sticking up for Rudy in every aspect, whether it's on SLC Dunk, on Twitter, on here, everywhere. And him not showing up in situations like this and in games like this. How many late game collapses do we have to see? You know? And I know Quinn's part of that because Quinn is absolutely part of this loss. 100%. Do not get it. Do not get it wrong. Quinn is just as at fault with this as everyone. Because guess what? These players who are on the floor are who Quinn decides to be on the floor. And if Rudy says that he's not 100% and Quinn has him out there in the crunch time, and we all, you and me, everyone watching could just see he was either 1, being soft, or 2, not 100%, why is he on the floor? Did Doak all of a sudden get hurt? Because guess what? We've just watched 6 games of Doak playing really well. And Whiteside playing really well. Whiteside was a plus 20. 19 minutes. And I get it. We want to get Rudy Gobert out there. And when Rudy Gobert is playing well, he's great. But you know what? Can we have some cojones to bench the guy if he's not playing well? His defense on Russell Westbrook at the end of the game was just horrible. It was just horrible. And it cost the Jazz like 4+ points. It was so bad. Why are you jumping on a Russell Westbrook fake? Why would you ever jump on anything Russell Westbrook does? You want him to shoot the ball! What is he doing? I don't care if you're not 100%. That doesn't mean you're not 100%. Get up here! Come on. What are you doing? And can we put some arms up when LeBron's going to the rim? My gosh. Come on. And I hate this because this is the team with the bloggers that get to say all the crap they want. And they get all the preferences everywhere. The media gives this team everything they want. They're on ESPN every other night. And TNT. Their main guy gets to choose the All-Star team. And we go out there and do that? I mean, have some pride. Have some like cojones. Come on. I don't know. This was a bad loss, guys. There are losses where you're just like, you know what? We just got beat. And then there are losses like tonight where it just tells you, man, this team, you know, I thought with like the last 6 games where they were playing well and, you know, Doak was doing things. Whiteside looked dominant. You know, you kind of thought, well, maybe they've turned a corner. They beat without Rudy Gobert, they beat the Golden State Warriors without Draymond and Clay. And you're like, well, I thought that was kind of a signature win. But you know what? It would be nice for Rudy to like show up in a game like this. You know what I mean? Show up. Show up. Show up. At a certain point, people keep saying these things, and Jazz fans keep telling the narratives of the Nationals that they're wrong. You don't understand. You don't watch them enough. At a certain point, they're right. Unless you prove them wrong. And nights like tonight are the night you need to prove them wrong. And if you're not 100%, fine. But someone's got to adjust. And it's either Rudy to be tougher and not back down and either, you know, block a shot on the perimeter or something, or Quinn to actually make a move. It's just the same story. We've all seen this. We've all seen it. Who hasn't seen this? Everyone's seen it. It's why the numbers are down this year. It's why people aren't going to as many games. That's why people can't sell their tickets. Because the best move they did this offseason was trade for Eric Paschall. Because Quinn didn't want to trade Joe Ingles, and then he tore his ACL. So the best thing the Jazz could do was getting Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Congrats, Quinn. Congrats. For a guy he's not even going to play. And maybe they could have got a prospect. You know, and there were rumors of other trades that were on the table, and they didn't do anything, and they came into this season the exact same team. People complained about George Niang. Don't talk to me about George Niang. Shut your mouth. This team was better with George Niang. Let's just be freaking honest. This team is not as good this year as it was last year. It's just not. It's just not. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest? Gow. And I'm tired of, like, you know what? All these people that complain, you know, I don't know. Let's just be honest with ourselves. It's just not as good. They're just not. You know? And maybe they'll turn it around, and maybe they'll prove me wrong. I hope they do, because you guys know how much I love this team. I freaking dedicate my pathetic life to this team. But you've got to be honest. And we begged for moves. We begged. Unserious. Couldn't have fired Dennis Lindsey faster. All right. There's our Rudy Gobert honesty tonight. Donovan Mitchell was incredible tonight. And if there was a lone bright spot tonight, it was what Donovan Mitchell was doing. And it really proved that a certain guy on this team named Mike Conley is baggage. All right? I'm sorry, but I am sick and tired of these numbers. Look at this. Let's just go and look at the numbers. Are we about facts tonight? Yes, we're about facts tonight. Because what we do is we actually be honest with ourselves on this channel. Some people struggle with honesty and looking inwards and answering the questions they are hearing the questions about. That didn't make any sense. All right, let's go. Once upon a time, Mike Conley was playing efficient basketball. It hasn't happened for a while. Good news is there's no trade value there now. Look at this. 1 for 8, 3 for 10, 4 for 10, 5 for 17. There's a good night. 5 for 10. I guess a broken clock's good right twice a day, right? 6 for 14, 8 for 17. So here's some of this efficiency. It's been a while. It's been a while. And if this Jazz team wants to win, they need him to be better. But let's take some honesty, all right? Let's go to the playoffs. Let's see. Oh, gosh, I don't even know how to look it up quickly. We're on the... Oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so... let's see. Does it show all the series here? Career playoffs. All right. Well, Denver... This is the one I wanted to say. When it mattered most, 2 for 13, guys. This was the night we needed him most. Not clutch. Memphis gets injured, misses 5 games. Comes back 1 for 8. Not clutch. And sure, he's not hurt, he's hurt. But guess what? At a certain point, you are who you are. You are who you are. Three for 9. Let's see. I don't know. 5 for 14 to close against Memphis. Or against San Antonio. In closing clutch games. And that's probably not fair. Guys, it's a bad loss tonight. And I tell you what. Here's the point of talking about this. This is just not good enough. This, and one of these was like a wide open 3. 0 for 3 tonight. Five personal fouls, 1 turnover, Conley put in 5 assists. I guess that's whatever. um, I don't know. I need him to show up. If the Jazz want to win, they can't have performances like this. Last game, 0 for 6. Tonight, 0 for... Oh, my gosh. This is against Houston. What is this? Oh, or is this the play? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I tell you what, I think this offseason is going to be wild for the Utah Jazz. It has to be. It's just not working. It's been fun with Mike Conley. It's made us a really good regular season team. But when it comes down to like having to get buckets or make big defensive stops or stay healthy or whatever, it's just not happening. And it's a bummer. Hassan Whiteside was a plus 20 in this game. Trent Forrest was plus 17. By the way, why wasn't Trent Forrest in the game at the end? It's not illegal to like put in someone who's playing better than another player. Does Quinn know that he could do that? Does he know that you could keep a player in that's playing better than another one? You don't have to keep players in because of their rotation spot in the plan you made before the season began, because the Jazz season was planned out from start to finish before it even started. Gosh. It's ridiculous. Trent Forrest was one of the best things going tonight for the Jazz. He was absolutely phenomenal. His defense was game-changing. Trent Forrest was arguably the second best player on the floor for the Jazz tonight after Donovan Mitchell. In fact, he was. There's no question. He changed the game. He played 12 minutes. Does Quinn know he can be on the floor longer than that? You know, Daniel House is still figuring out the offense. He had a few drives that just didn't end well, and that led to this one. Well, let's see. Did he have any turnovers, Daniel House? No, he didn't. But this should be one because he caused one 24-second shot clock thing with a late drive that ended up, this was at least one or two. But we don't count the shot clock stuff. But anyways, should have been two. House had his probably worst game with the Jazz, and he was still just a -1 in a Jazz loss. It's because guess what? Defense matters. I don't know. I'm actually really surprised Daniel House was available. Like, he had a nice night in a hotel room during the bubble, and apparently that was just like devastating. But you know what? Who among us? Who among us? I'm just glad Daniel House is on the Jazz. He can have all the stays at the Marriott he wants. I don't care. I want him on the floor for the Jazz. I want him on the floor for the Jazz. It's just disappointing. Disappointing. And the Jazz just don't have... Here's the thing. The Jazz just don't have guys at the end of games to either A, get a stop, or B, penetrate and get to the rim. And it really should have been Donovan Mitchell. But guess what? When they're double-teaming Donovan Mitchell and you need Mike Conley to make a play or Royce O'Neal to make a play, and that's what it came down to, guess what? Royce O'Neal turned the ball over twice and Mike Conley couldn't do anything. You know? And Rudy can't guard the rim or the perimeter right now, apparently. And Bojan Bogdanovic was, he was on milk cartons tonight, all right? So, rough. I guess Bojan did have that late three, which was nice. So, I guess we're not putting as much blame on Bojan. Bojan was okay tonight, actually. But, I don't know. And this is right here what I'm thinking about. Coach's decision. Doak should have been in this game. That was a coach's decision, like the stats say. Or just play Hassan Whiteside more. But Rudy played terribly tonight. He was just awful. He really was. I mean, he had moments, but that like play where he was wide open under the rim and just doesn't get the ball and dunk it and just treated it like you're up, like Donovan had the quote where it's like they treated themselves like they're up 40. You can't do that. Every possession matters. You know, I'm getting older. I've watched a lot of basketball. You know who you take serious are players who treat possessions like they matter. Treat possessions like they're your family, like they're your child or your spouse or your brother. That's how you treat every single possession. You don't treat possessions like they're your enemy, like you just don't care. No, you grab that ball and you put it in the hoop because every possession matters. I'm sorry. You don't treat it like that. Ah, it's a rough night like tonight, guys. And I don't know what it is. You know, I don't overreact a lot. Well, I guess that this whole channel is based off of overreaction. But I'm not gonna lie, this loss was bad. This was like a culture loss as much as anything. And people say locker room chemistry. Get out of here. You know what this Jazz team could use is like a Marcus Smart, someone who's gonna get pissed off. People can make fun of guys like Patrick Beverley and guys like that all they want. You know what? Patrick Beverley would be pissed off. People can make fun of Russell Westbrook and guys like that all they want. You know who would be pissed off? Russell Westbrook. If he was on the Jazz tonight, he'd be pissed off. Is anyone pissed off on the Jazz about this? Or are we just doing Excuse City again? I can't remember. I think her name's Hallie on Twitter made just an incredible point. You know who's really great in post-game commentary is Quinn Snyder. He's really good about what they could have done better during the game. But you know what? Like Hallie said, he's not doing very good in terms of during the game deciding what they could do better. It's very much like the jerk store comment. George Costanza after the fact and says, "Oh, you know what I should have said? Jerk store." Well, the Jazz are the jerk store tonight because they just don't, in the moment when things matter, they don't make the right joke or the right play. Oh, what a bummer tonight, guys. What an absolute bummer. Bummer! That's all I got. That is all I got. Hopefully the Jazz turn around. Guess what? Now the Jazz get to go to All-Star break. Woo! That might be a tiny bit of break for this channel. I might try to do some videos on the NBA channel, so make sure that you go subscribe to that. But you know what? Also, we need to do. It's a good chance for me to do a live with the All-Stars. Let's just do a sit down and talk about the Jazz. Although after a loss like this, oh my gosh, is it painful? Is it painful? But we got to do it. I'll set that up with you guys. We haven't been doing them as much. I've been so dang busy. Oh, by the way, let's just get real. Let's just be honest. My last month and a half at my daytime job has been crazy. I probably shouldn't be talking about this because I think some people I work with might even watch this. But we just had some changes in our department. It's been just crazy with my work. We changed the brand with and I'm in marketing and I'm the production manager of my company, and it's been wild. I have been so busy, and now things are slowing down a tiny bit, or at least just getting back to normal. And so I might have a little more time in the evening and being a little less exhausted, and so that probably means more content. And I have a fun thing I've been working on. I paid a guy to do some artwork for me for a new idea I have. It's going to probably be for the NBA channel, but maybe I'll do a Utah Jazz one. Why not? I can always post to both channels. Why not? Is that against the rules? I don't know. But I'm excited about it. It should be fun. I have a fun idea. But it's taking time, and it's taking this designer guy a little bit of time. But it should be a lot of fun. But anyways, I'm excited for the second half of the season. I do think it's going to be, I'm still hoping for the Jazz to figure things out. But after losses like tonight, it's kind of hard to really take them too serious. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Rudy just needs to get healthy and blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Let me reload this. We got to... Oh, no! I haven't done it for a while, but we finally yawned. Let's see. I got to refresh this. We've got to give a shout out to our All-Stars. These are the guys. These are the freaking guys, man. Just the absolute dominating, incredible, just the ones that make everything worthwhile. And so let's give a shout out to Ryan Perry, the legend, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price, the Price is Right, Baby Elliott Matson, X marks the spot for Zintas, Jordan the Goat Best Rule, Joshua Hansen, the Danish Destroyer, and one Anton Warren, Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from Down Under, JT Buckets Wardell, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, Eric C., the C Stains for Champion, Donald Schooley, schooling all of us, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, and Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo. Guys, what a rough loss. What a rough loss. Almost as rough as like the last 6 months at my job. Can you imagine the most important? Oh my gosh. It was the most important month and a half, arguably, in like the history of my work, and we had so much craziness going down. But guess what? We righted that ship, baby. We righted that ship. And so if we can do that at my job during the day, the Jazz can do it at their job, right? They can do it. They can figure it out. Oh, I hope so. Anyways, I'm a little delirious. I'm still sick, but I'm feeling better. Hopefully tomorrow this thing is gone. Definitely by the end of All-Star break, I'll be feeling better. If you're new here, like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Guys, I will talk to you next time.